everyone. I apologize if the intro clip caused some PTSD or frustration or anxiety to rise up. For those of you who are in dental school or graduated dental school, Axiom, I'm sure, was the bane of your existence. If you are a pre-dental or a student who will start dental school in the fall, you have all of that frustration to look forward to in your future. The reason I use that clip is because in this video, I'm going to cover a report that you can generate in Axiom that covers the number of procedures you have performed. I wanted to make this video now, one, because hopefully it's interesting to you to see how many procedures I have done in dental school, to give you a good idea of at least what one dental student in one dental school has done, and maybe you can compare that to other dental schools or dental students that you might know. If you are one of those dental students, let me know in the comments down below how these numbers compare to your graduation requirements or the number of procedures that you have done in your schooling, so that we can see how different dental schools are preparing their students for the real world of dentistry. This report was generated at the beginning of this month. That was right as I was getting ready to transition into clinic full-time after the class above us graduated. So I thought this would be an accurate reflection of what I have done up to this point in my schooling, and I will compare it to the averages that we were recently told for graduating students. I am going to keep this fairly general because I'm not 100% sure how some of these averages are calculated, what different subcategories might be included or excluded from the numbers. But I will include the full report on the screen now so that you can see the exact breakdown of the procedures that I have performed up to this point in dental school. With that, let's jump into it. Starting off with comprehensive exams. This is a new patient exam, and I have performed 22 comprehensive exams. The average for a graduating student is 40, so I am just over the halfway mark of comprehensive exams. Moving on to restorations or fillings. The number of restorations that I have done up to this point is 21. This includes any different number of surfaces and buildups. The average for a graduating student is 100. I know that I personally am towards the lower end of restorations at this point, but that just means I have roughly 75 restorations to look forward to doing over the next year, which will be really good for my confidence, for my hand skills, for my speed. So I am looking forward to that. Moving on to prophylaxis. So this is just a regular cleaning, and I have performed 28. This is including adult and children. I'm not sure if the total number is just adults or if it includes the child prophies as well, but the number for graduating students is 40 prophies. Moving from regular cleanings to deeper cleanings, I am lumping all of the deeper cleanings together. So this includes the D4346, which is the worst procedure we perform in dentistry. That's just my personal opinion. As well as scaling and root planing, or SRPs, which are deeper cleanings for patients with periodontal or gum disease. The total number of these deeper cleanings that I have performed is 38, and the average for graduating students to complete is 50. I would love to think that that means I'm almost done performing SRPs, but that sounds too good to be true, and I know I'm not done doing SRPs yet. Drum roll. Moving on to some of the more exciting, advanced, complicated, involved procedures that we do in dental school and as dentists. Things like crowns, extractions, root canals, or dentures. That's what we're getting into now. For crowns, my report says that I've done 1 crown. I would say I haven't done any. I started a crown preparation, so forming the tooth to get it ready for a crown to be made for it, but I was just having a really tough time. And so I actually had the student I was paired up with, who was in the class above me, step in and complete the procedure just because I was struggling and getting pretty frustrated with the procedure. So, report says 1, I say none. The average for graduating students is 7.5. Moving on to my personal favorite, extractions. I have performed 20 extractions, and the average for graduating students is 59. So that means I have 39 more extractions to look forward to over the next year. Taking a look at endo or root canals, I have performed half. And endo or root canals is kind of interesting in that way, in that the procedure can actually be completed over 2 appointments or in a single appointment. Often, because we're slow and we don't do that many root canals, we complete root canals over 2 appointments in the school. I completed the second half of one, but because a different student had started it, that procedure was under that student's name, which is why my report says 0. I would say half. The average for graduating students is 5. And I'm not sure if this is 5 from start to finish or 5 halves of a procedure. So take that for what it's worth. Last and probably least, dentures. I have not completed any denture cases up to this point. I have a couple that I'll be starting over the next little bit, so that will change in the near future. The average for graduating students is 5. And I'm assuming that this is 5 arches. So the upper arch or the lower arch, I'm assuming it's 5 total arches and not 5 complete mouths. But we know what happens when you assume. Before you think that this isn't that many procedures and you're wondering what my school is doing or what I'm doing, if I'm missing a bunch, these are just the procedures that I have been the primary provider for. If you include the number of procedures that I assisted for or was the secondary provider, that number is roughly 130 procedures. We spend the majority of our time before our 4th year assisting the upperclassmen. And now that I am the upperclassman, that will change and will be the primary provider more and more. I hope this was interesting and informative for you. I have lots of ideas of things that might be interesting or beneficial for you, but please let me know in the comments down below what you want to see a video about, any questions that you have or topics that you find interesting, because this is all for you guys. I want this to be beneficial for you so that you can gain something out of these videos. With that, I'll see you in the next one.